Imagine you're at a funeral home paying respects for a friend or a loved one. All of a sudden, a strange person walks up to the casket where the family stands. Out of nowhere, the family take a loaf of bread and place it on the deceased's chest and hand the strange person a cup to drink. The person then takes the loaf and eats it and drinks the drink. Once both are gone, the person announces the soul of the deceased is eased and at rest. The family give the person some money, cover them in ashes, then proceed to chase the person from the location with sticks. What is this? What is happening? Appalachia, the mountains, are like no other. From its rigid terrain and beautiful wildlife to the people that live their lives here, to the strange, unexplained stories that folks share. Join me while I share this amazing place, one story at a time. A Sineater is a poor, social outcast person the family hired to eat the sins of the deceased person. They wanted to be sure the deceased didn't have to experience purgatory if they didn't get their last rites read by a priest or a pastor. The Sineater's ritual: the bread is placed over the chest. The loaf absorbs the sin of the soul. When it's eaten, the Sineater absorbs the sin into themselves, leaving the soul of the deceased pure. Sineaters were a United Kingdom ritual that came with them when they migrated. Sineaters were commonly shunned by the people, and they often had to live in isolation. They were feared because it was often thought that a Sineater was a type of witchcraft or dark evil magic. The last known Sineater was Richard Munslow from Shropshire, England. He accepted this role as a kindness for his village. The act of sin eating had died off in the previous century, and he felt it his duty to bring it back. Many think he brought it back after the death of his three children in 1870. There have been many references given over the years on sin eating. As early as the 1600s, John Aubrey, a 1600s diarist, wrote about it in Herefordshire. John Bagford, born in 1650, wrote about it in his letters on Leland's collection, cited in Brewer's Dictionary of Phrase and Fable in 1898. Catherine Sinclair noted the practice was in decline but continued locally in 1838. A Rattling Hope Reverend Norman Morris wrote, "Sin eating was a very old practice and would not be approved by the church, and vicar often turned a blind eye to the practice." Bertram S. Puckle mentioned sin eating in his 1926 book Funeral Customs. A professor of the Presbyterian College reported seeing a sin eater in 1825. There are so many more mentions of the ritual even today. Many believe that this strange ritual died off in the mountains of Appalachia, but you never know. Remnants of this very ritual are common even today at funerals. Rather than a single person eating bread over the body, it's common for people to bring food to feed the family of the deceased at the funeral. No bread placed over the body, definitely no ale drank at the funeral. People of Appalachia have many abilities, but they are kept quiet and private, so they are not shunned, or even worse. The mountain folk will gladly use their gifts to help others, but you have to seek them out, because they don't usually tell the world of their gifts. They usually don't even charge either. I haven't heard of a Sineater in today's times, but in Appalachia, it wouldn't surprise me a bit. I know one thing, it is pretty common practice for a chaplain to speak with a very sick person. Today's hospital have them on duty or on call. I'm guessing that's why a Sineater isn't common. It's much easier for a chaplain to give the last rites of a person rather than absorb the sins of another. Or is it? Folks, I'd like to thank you for sitting and listening to the history and tale of the Sineater from England to the mountains of Appalachia. I appreciate you listening. I love you to pieces, and I'll see you next time.